ABC News is yet again in the hot seat. This time it's kind of funny, I gotta tell you. Like, if you haven't seen this, we got some fun stuff to show you here because, listen, Donald Trump is not holding back. And this was just great. They got into a discussion there about whether or not, this is the reporter Terry Moran, who nobody had really ever heard of, including Donald Trump. He had never heard of the guy. He actually told him that. It was kind of humiliating to Terry, right to his face. But anyway, they had this conversation about whether or not Pete Hegseth should be in the job at the Pentagon. And Terry got a lot out of him, and then finally was like, are you 100% behind him? And finally the president just lost it on him. Epic, humiliating moment for this reporter and for ABC. Of course, let's watch.
One question about Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. There's a lot of turmoil at the Pentagon right now. There's the signal chat with his wife on it where he's discussing that attack in Yemen. There's another signal chat discussing the attack on Yemen. There's a reporter accidentally involved. You said the other day that you had a talk with the secretary. Did you take him to the woodshed?
I had a talk with him, and whatever I said, I probably wouldn't be inclined to tell you. But we had a good talk. He's a talented guy. He's young. He's smart, highly educated. And I think he's going to be a very good hopefully a great defense secretary, but he'll be a very good defense secretary.
You have 100% confidence in Pete Hegseth?
I don't have 100% confidence in anything. Okay? Anything. Do I have 100%? It's a stupid question. Look.
It's a pretty important position.
No. You don't have 100%. Only a liar would say I have 100% confidence. I don't have 100% confidence that we're going to finish this interview.
We will.
That was great, right? I mean, it is a stupid question. Come on, who has 100% confidence in anything? And he's right. Only a liar is going to sit there and say, I have 100% confidence in this, that, or the other. So it was a stupid question. It was kind of like one of those gotcha things. It's like Terry wanted to make sure that he had on record that the president said, I have 100% confidence in Pete Hegseth, just in case something happens with Pete, and maybe Pete steps down in the future, he can say, you lied. Well, Donald Trump was not going to fall for that, or anything else for that matter, because it went from one little thing to the next. I mean, Trump was fired up, and this reporter, he's getting his big day, his big debut. He's suddenly on people's television screens. You've heard of him now, which maybe you probably hadn't before. So this was a big moment. But again, it was totally humiliating. Here he is trying to push Donald Trump, and Donald Trump's coming back saying, you guys are the fake news. You guys are the ones that sat there for how many years? 4 years, and tried to say that Biden was in perfectly good health when you knew better. You absolutely knew. So we don't trust you, do we? ABC News. And by the way, this is part of what Brendan Carr is alleging, that America no longer has any faith or trust in the news media and outlets like ABC News because of what they did. Here, watch it.
Do you think the reputation of the United States has gone down under your presidency?
No, I think it's gone way up, and I think we're a respected country again. We were laughed at all over the world. We had a president that couldn't walk up a flight of stairs, couldn't walk down a flight of stairs, couldn't walk across the stage without falling. We had a president that was grossly incompetent. You knew it, I knew it, and everybody knew it, but you guys didn't want to write it because you're fake news.
All right. Thank you.
And by the way, ABC is one of the worst. I have to be honest with you.
Thank you.
Okay, so he got that little dig in there. I mean, this was humiliating, was it not, for the network? And when he says ABC is one of the worst, that's kind of a loaded comment. It's a loaded comment because Brendan Carr right now has already informed Bob Iger, who is the CEO of Disney. Disney is the parent company of ABC News. Believe me, we talked about this yesterday. Disney wants to unload this thing like you wouldn't believe. It is like a hot tamale, right? They don't want this thing at all. Why? Because it's not growing. It is not the future. This is the future right here, what we're doing right now. Make sure you subscribe, share, like, make a comment, all that good stuff. I love the likes. I see lots of likes right now. So listen, this is the future. ABC News is not. And Disney knows that. And so it wants to get rid of this thing like you wouldn't believe, just from a pure sort of business standpoint, right? It doesn't make a ton of sense. The problem that ABC is having is they cannot sell it for what they would like. The offer on the table, per my sources at Nexstar, was $10 billion. Okay, that sounds like a lot of money. Turns out, though, Disney bought this thing ABC News and ABC, the network, for some $19 billion years ago, like back in the early 90s, right? So they're like, wait a second, we can't take that kind of haircut on it. Maybe we can try and do something. Like, is there any way we can like rev up the streaming business, something, right? So they've been doing all this reorg, et cetera. I don't think any of it's going to work. Fundamentally, they are stuck in the dark ages, and this is the problem with every major network right now. This is what we keep talking about, a common theme. On top of that, they've all been run by the so-called deep state for so long, they don't know how to do any real reporting. They don't know how to check any sources. They don't know how to have an opinion that's not top-down, dictated from management. And so when Donald Trump's like, wait, you guys just sat there for 4 years. You're like one of the worst. You like covered Biden as though he was the Messiah when he was really struggling, and we all knew he was struggling. Why did you do that? They have no answer. And this is what Brendan Carr is coming back to at the FCC. In fact, if you look at his letter that he sent to one Bob Iger, he pointed that out, suggesting that he's not going to actually renew the affiliate deals that they have with their 200 and some odd affiliates all over the country. It's a misnomer to think that they own their affiliates. I think they only own about 7 of them. They've got some big market affiliates, but the rest are smaller businesses, and they have to pay a big fee to get that interview with Terry Moran. I mean, that might be worth paying for, right? That was actually pretty funny. But they're also paying for The View and all the other programming. And the FCC, which controls the airwaves in traditional broadcast TV, is saying, gee, you guys aren't really all that. Americans don't trust you anymore. And so maybe we shouldn't actually be licensing the ABC brand to all of these affiliates across the country. I bet a lot of those affiliates would love to have the time back anyway. They have all these contracts, right, where they have to run The View, and they have to run ABC World News Tonight, etc., and Georgie Poo on the weekend. They have to run those shows, and so maybe that time gets given back to them, meaning that ABC News is even more doomed than you even thought.